What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Aviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and today we have the GeminiJets August 2025 releases for you all. I hope all of you are excited for this today. Really excited to finally get a new pair of releases here, and it's going to be really cool to see what they're all about. JJ texted me and said to be ready, so I saw just a couple snippets. It just can't help it. Sometimes on Instagram it pops up, so I did the best I could, but nevertheless, there's going to be a bunch of really cool pieces to the puzzle, so I hope all of you are excited for it, and without any further delay, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started with the releases. Everybody, let's get started. This one I did see, but I'm super excited about it. Finally, at long last, we've been waiting years for this aircraft. The American Airlines Airbus A321 US Airways Heritage November 578 Uniform Whiskey. Really glad to finally get the American A321. This is a really exciting release, and yeah, we've been waiting for this for quite some time. So let's just go ahead and take a look here at the aircraft. We've been wanting this for a long time, and finally finishing out the Heritage deliveries. They did all 4 of the specials that got moved over to the 321 over the last year. Now we have this aircraft at long last. Very excited about it. 100% going to be getting it, and at long last we have a nice aerial version of the US Airways American A321. So no better way to start this release. That is a really good start. So really happy to see the US Airways Heritage American A321. And I believe it was about 12 years ago when the merger got announced. So very fitting timing for sure. Very nice to see that right there. This is a Canarius? I'm not even sure how to say that. Embraer ERJ 195E2 Echo Charlie Oscar Alpha Echo. This is a very neat livery. So this is a low-cost airline from Spain, maybe? That's my best assumption here. But anyway, this is a very cool aircraft. The E2 has been going all over Europe, so really great to see this aircraft. I recently got the Rinro. Great plane, and now obviously we have this. So European collectors, I'm sure, going to be very happy about this asset, and GeminiJets continues to cater to all regions of the world. We've seen NG, and they've certainly had some interesting movements lately, but GeminiJets continuing the balance and the popularity, which I think are the 2 biggest pieces to the puzzle. And if you can even have pretty solid molds, I think Gemini even has better than solid molds, then you're going to be in good shape. So a very good release right there, looking really sharp, and yeah, really excited about that aircraft. And I believe the price went up last month. Just want to make sure that there's no differences. So yeah, these are the price that we had last month. So very excited about that. European collectors are going to be very happy about that, and that is a really good release right there. So far starting off really hot. This is awesome. We're continuing with the Cubana, really cool aircraft. This is the ATR72 this time, Charlie Uniform Tango 1548. So really cool to see this really unique spear of Cubana releases. We've had the Antonov 26. I think they did the ATR42 as well. So yeah, great to see the ATR72. It's a really interesting, unique aspect to cover, and I really appreciate Gemini throwing in these unique releases. About 1 plane a month we've been getting on average, where there's been a unique plane like this. So another example that we're really happy to see right here, and GeminiJets continuing to do what they do best. So that's a very good release right there, and ultimately very happy to see it. That's a great release. We're getting an Emirates Airbus A380. This is going to be Alpha 6 Echo Sierra, and this is be a part of the Magic livery, which I thought was already released. I think it has been, but regardless of the case, cool to get another one. Obviously, this is a very popular aircraft. It sells really well, so in turn, it obviously makes sense, and it's kind of, you know, a bread and butter piece for Gemini, just a consistent foundation for them. So definitely respect the release here, and another Emirates A380 to add to the catalog. What more could you want? So looking very nice with that release right there. Hawaiian 787-9 is already getting re-released. This is November 781 Hotel Alpha. I believe I flew that aircraft. I'm almost positive that's the registration that I flew. I did not request it, just completely ironic. So yeah, I wasn't intending to get this aircraft, but I'll go ahead and sell 780, which I actually got from Todd at Kansas City, or maybe I'll just do a little mini Hawaiian hub and get this one as well. So yeah, really cool to have this aircraft, and I already have the 1-200 as well, so this is going to be tough to figure out exactly how I want to go about this, but this is way too good of an opportunity not to get this aircraft. So definitely will be getting this. Flew this from Phoenix to Honolulu earlier this year. A really cool piece of the puzzle, I guess, very late last year, I suppose. So really happy to have this aircraft, and this is, or get this aircraft. And yeah, Hawaiian, we're getting A321neo from NG, the A330 from NG, and now the 787-9 from Gemini. So a great time to be Hawaiian Airlines collectors, no doubt about that. So we'll get a interactive series in conjunction. No, wow, that's a big surprise. Japan Airlines McDonnell Douglas MD-90. So this was definitely not the way I was expecting to see the MD-80's next appearance, but Juliet Alpha 002 Delta. a really cool aircraft, and you know, it's really cool to see the retro aviation getting covered globally. That's not, you know, we don't always get representation from that. Gemini's retro aircraft really can cater to US releases, but I really appreciate this, and I think many collectors in Japan especially are really going to be happy about this release. So very cool one, especially being the MD-90. This is that I think the final livery to the MD-80 or probably, but yeah, this is a very good aircraft, and I think that many Japan collectors are really going to be happy about this. So this release, this August release, August has always been a good month for GeminiJets, but we're really covering a wide scope of releases. So a really big fan of what Gemini is doing here. Overall, just absolutely phenomenal in so many ways. Jet Japan release is going to be very popular, so very happy to see that. United Airbus A321 Neo is already getting in the release. This November 14502. So yeah, these are really popular, and Gemini already making their effort to make rounds on this. I did see another plane that they're going to re-release, so normally I would have said I hope to see this and that, but I think that plane's coming up, so I'm not going to say that. So I want to see it with my own eyes first. But anyway, this plane's pretty popular, so it makes sense to do it again, and I'm glad to see Gemini doing what they do best. So another very good re-release right there to go with the Hawaiian 787. And there it is, the United Express Bombardier CRJ-550 at long last. So they did one release, it was back in 2019, and this and the A319 have been the most sought after United aircraft for a long time. So this is part one, which is huge, and the Embraer 175 I should mention as well. All three of those planes that were done in that right before pandemic time, very sought after. But this is going to be a very desired aircraft among many collectors. Gemini finally getting back to this after 5 years, almost 6. So very happy for these collectors. I certainly will be getting one, maybe 2 of these. So I'm really excited to expand the fleet. I even kind of want the 321 Neo just to keep expanding the fleet. But this is already going to be a busy month with the American US Airways and the Hawaiian 787. So might just do one here. We'll see what happens. But nevertheless, this is a busy release for sure, and overall looking very nice. So what an awesome set there. I think we're going to have a max go with it. Seems a little small. That's right. And the max aircraft this month is the New York Air National Guard camouflage C5A. That is cool. It's very nice. So a really unique piece of the puzzle. There's not many aircraft that are this unique. So very glad to see Gemini hitting on such a cool aircraft here, and I'll be eager to see what this looks like. So a very nice piece of the puzzle, and this is definitely a very nice compliment to all the aircraft above. So that 1-400 set was phenomenal. Let's just continue. This is amazing. Here we go into our 1-200 releases this month. Let's see what we got going. Starting with the Aeromexico Embraer 190 coming up the 1-200 scale, a previous 1-400 release, and very nice for all the collectors that are involved. I hope to see some more company stores at some point. I would love to get a plane like this 1-200. Just need the good deal, right? So that's a very good release. Very happy to see that. Very good job. The Allegiant A320 also makes it up to 1-200 after a couple months there. 252 November Victor. Very happy to see that, and honestly pretty interested. I need to get a few more 1-200 planes, and then a 1-200 model airport is going to be a reality. So certainly very excited for the realistic possibility of doing that soon. That's going to be awesome. Delta A330-200 also makes it up. 852 November Whiskey. It's crazy how it used to be all 1-200s turned into 1-400s, and now it seems like it's the other way around. But nevertheless, this is a great plane here, and great to see Delta getting more representation in their 100th year of operation. So another very nice release right there. Very solid. Very happy to see that. The El Al Boeing 777 is also going to make it up here. 4X Echo Charlie Bravo. So nice aircraft to see once again. And yeah, there's a very good variety here to start. I'm liking the assortment of aircraft they're picking here. Some popular offerings with some good diversity. So overall, this is looking really strong and definitely a choice for everybody. We're also going to get the flaps and slots extended as expected. Although I wish that this was $102, but I think they meant to put $202. So unfortunate for sure, but we have the receipts now, so maybe they'll give me one for $102.95. We'll see, but we got receipts. Okay, we have the JetBlue Airbus A320 new livery coming up, 547 Juliet Bravo, and this is a very substantial release, as I don't think in-flight's done the 320 yet. I might be wrong. I hope to do a catch-up live stream when I get home here in just a few weeks, and that will cover all of those manufacturers that we haven't covered in nearly 6 months now, so we'll be covering all of those releases. That being said, I think that this might be one of the first, if not the first. So a very substantial release here, and Gemini definitely catering to our 1-200 collectors very well. There's a choice for everybody, no doubt about that. So that's extremely cool. We're also, I didn't mean to scroll so fast, but since they're both together, we'll just go ahead and take them together. The Logan Air ATR72 is going to be making an appearance. We have the Clan McAaron red livery and the Clan McMahon green livery aircraft. So it's Lima Mike Tango Echo and Lima Mike Tango Foxtrot. So this is the red. the traditional one that we're used to. Really cool. So a very good looking aircraft. Logan Air is pretty unique. And this is the green one, which isn't quite as common. So another very cool one, Isla of the Man's airline. So a very unique duo release here. That's kind of what NG would do, but it's interesting to see Gemini take those together. So a very interesting release right there. And yeah, Logan Air getting some very unique representation. So I'm very interested to see if any of those turn to 1-400s. Honestly, it seems like one they wouldn't do, but that's why we're here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's a very interesting release. We're also going to get an E7A wedge tail. This is going to be WT001. And obviously for the Royal Air Force, these aircraft are very unique in their capabilities and what they do. So another very good aircraft right here, and very happy to see this aircraft looking strong. So overall, that's really strong, and definitely very happy to see that aircraft. So that's a very good looking plane right there. Very nice. In a TWA Boeing 727-100, setting the tone, and I did scroll, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this battleship gray United 737-500. Wow, okay, this is crazy for 1-200 collectors. This is unheard of to get both of these together. So this is the final livery. It's 851 Tango Whiskey. That's going to be a hot seller. That is what you would expect in-flight or somebody to make. That is insane that Gemini just did both of these. So that's a very cool release. Definitely going to be, I think it says Star Dream 727 on the engine. That's going to be a very popular offering. So Gemini just exploding in 1-200 right now. This might be their best 1-200 set in a long time. 3 years ago, we covered some of their best releases. I think we're going to need to redo that video. The recent releases have been amazing, but especially now in this United 737-500 battleship grade to go with it, 936 Uniform Alpha. I think JC's done some in the past, but I don't know if they've done a 735. I know 300s, I think, but yeah, definitely going to need to verify all that. But those are very popular releases, very interesting, and I'm really curious to see if these are going to be 1-400 releases, because if so, they're both going to explode. So very, very interesting storyline going into the September releases. This will be a very talked about subject, but I am very eager to see what happens with both of these. This 1-200 release is just absolute fire. This probably is the best 1-200 set they have maybe ever made. This is the crazy part is that's not even the last aircraft. United Starline 763, I think this is possibly the best 1-200 release they have ever made. Star Alliance is November 653 Uniform Alpha, so they pretty much just said, hey, we're going to take every popular aircraft over the last 6 months of 1-200, and we're going to put them, or 1-400, and we're going to put them into this release. Unbelievable the amount of intent that went into this release. Just a phenomenal aircraft. There's going to be some wallet breaking here. Just unbelievable. So a very cool aircraft, quite the contrast from the Battleship Gray. Just unbelievable. That is a great plane, and definitely, I mean, of course I'm interested. Maybe one of these will be on a good deal at some point on Black Friday or whatever. So when does it ever end? And a March Air Force Base C-17 to finish it out, 055144. A very nice release, great for the military collectors, and just unbelievable release right here in the 1-200 scale. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the GeminiJets August 2025 releases. That was hands down one of the best releases I've ever seen. That's got to be top 10, possibly top 5 all time. Let's talk about it. The 1-400 set is a very nice, well-rounded, distributed release of popular offerings. We do have some good global representation with the European Embraer 190 EVE 2 and also the Japan MD-90. I also really like the Emirates A380 and the Cubana. That definitely rounds it out well. In our US sector, of course, we have the US Airways Heritage, the Hawaiian 79, and United A321 Neo re-releases already in the United CRJ 550s. So this is a very wide scope of releases. There's certainly a plane for everybody, and there's definitely multiple planes for US collectors. So a very nice release. Obviously the last US release was solid. This one is also phenomenal on all levels. So very excited to see the input and reaction to this portion of the releases, and I think that many collectors are going to be really happy. And along with that C5 camouflage livery to really add some good depth to it, there's really a piece here for everybody. So very good release, and we'll be interested to see what bounces out in September, but we obviously have the 1-200 storyline to go with it. I do need to go do some fact checking, and I do intend to do that over the next week or two just to start getting ready for a video. This might hands down be the best 1-200 release in terms of US popularity ever, and I even think you can go as far to say balanced releases, because we have the Aeromexico, the El Al, the Logan Airs, and the Wedgetail, along with the US releases just being outmatched. So you got a Legion A320. That's a very popular aircraft that's been anticipated for probably 10 years at this point. You can get them, but they're pretty tough, so getting that's a huge release. Delta 330, never can complain about that, especially near 100. It's a big fan. You have the JetBlue new livery A320, just a phenomenal release on all accounts. So that's a very impressive release right there. Really happy to see that. The TWA and Uniteds were certainly just unbelievably, I can't believe they fell right next to each other. TWA is going to be very popular. In-flight's done at some point, but Gemini, of course, doing it really brings the eyes to it. That United 735 as well is going to be a very hot seller, and I'm very interested to see if one or possibly both of those aircraft within 2 months will make it to the 1-400 releases. I really do have a feeling the United 735 has a real chance. We will see about the TWA 727. Gemini's been pretty good about getting planes done, and the interesting part is I can't tell you the last time Gemini's done a 727-100. They've done a good few 200s. I can't remember the last 100. They very well could have done one that's not coming to my mind. There's also a chance that neither of them make it to 1-400. It will be very interesting to see. But that is currently what we have right there. So I'm very eager to see what they'll do there. They've done some 737 classics lately in the 1-400 scale, mainly 300s, but I do believe they, at some point, I thought they did a 500. I can't call it off the top of my head, but anyway. And on top of that, to finish it out, we had the Star Alliance United 767 and the March Air Force Madness, or not March Madness, but March Air Force Base C-17. Just overall, I mean, I don't know how you could beat that release. That was phenomenal in the 1-200 scale. There's going to be some very, very happy collectors with the aircraft that came out here. And at some point, I definitely hope to get at least one aircraft from this release to really, you know, say, hey, I was involved with what an amazing release this was. The two that come to mind are both the A320s for Allegiant and JetBlue. I certainly hope to get one of those at some point. Maybe they'll be my Christmas gift this year from grandparents, since they're very nice about doing 1-200 plane every year. So for the 5-year anniversary of that tradition, maybe one of these aircraft will be one of the choices. So I definitely would like to get an aircraft from this release. And then obviously in the 1-400s, the American, the Hawaiian, and obviously the United 550 for sure. And then possibility of the United 321 Neo, and maybe even C5 airplane. We'll see. But this was a fire release. This is really great. I think Gemini really knocked it out of the park with this release. I think there's so many pieces to like. I am very interested about next month. I'm really eager to see if they're going to do those two retro aircraft, and I'm also interested to see if they step back any, if they'll add some more global variety. Don't get me wrong, there was some variety here 1-400, but if we had to get nitpicky, it obviously is a little limited. There's not much in the way of Asia representation for the modern scale, and there's not really too much, obviously. Africa and South America usually don't get much representation, unfortunately, but would have been nice to see one of those here to really just say, hey, this is going to be just a crazy good release for everywhere. And obviously we've talked about the 1-200 pretty at length. Wow, that was impressive. JJ's text was definitely very adequate in regards to this magnitude of this release. So on top of this, you got NG's movements right now that have been very interesting to watch. So far, the last 2 weeks have been very productive for NG. We'll definitely have an analysis video on them. I think it's definitely going to be time to follow up on GeminiJets, considering how good the releases have been. Even last month was solid. Let's go back and take a look. You obviously had all this 1-200 variety once again with popularity, and the Continental MD-80 did sell out, so that definitely tells you how popular that was. And the 1-400 releases obviously were just fire as well. Iceland Air, JetBlue, United Star Alliance, you know, it was just a very well-rounded release as well. And I also did some research. Echo Air was the aircraft that I flew for British Airways. Aviation 400 actually did an exclusive, and I really would like to buy it, but it would be $100. So there is a very good chance, though, that I do intend to get this aircraft in some capacity. Its 1-200 counterpart also came out in June. I would also really like to get that aircraft. I do have the previous release, but Black Friday and other opportunities, we'll see if it ends up working out. But what a crazy release, everybody. I really hope all of you enjoyed the analysis today. GeminiJets just on fire. We will definitely be doing another video. I probably will start with the reevaluating the top releases, because I want to see a couple more months go on, make sure that the tariffs don't turn into a major issue, and then probably at some point in October, so we'll do a cool analysis video. I'll have analysis videos coming up on 3D printing aircraft and some other manufacturers to talk about their input. So those model analysis videos have been really fun, and very much appreciate JJ's help on making those a reality with all of his additional input. So thank you to him so much for making those a reality. I'm so glad you all have enjoyed them, and definitely expect 2 of those a month. Those have been super fun. But I think it's been about 3 years since we've done the top releases for Gemini, and I also think NG also could make it into the mix too. So Today was definitely an inspirational day to finish July of 2025, and August is going to be a very exciting month too. Very happy to see this releases. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. Overall, very impressive and really eager to hear about what all you are going to get. Wow, that was fun. That was really, really cool. So excited for what's to come. With that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Just process D. Love you do. I'm CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as CM Aviation is signing off.